What's up, guys? I'm your host, Tap2K. Let's get right into the NBA news. Our first story is coming from Chicago Bulls, where Jabari Parker hates the Bulls, and quite frankly, everybody hates the coach in the situation. If you haven't heard, the Chicago Bulls fired Fred Hoiberg a couple weeks ago, and Jabari Parker and basically the whole Bulls hate their new coach, Jim Boylen. Jim Boylen, I've read things about him. He's been fired from he's been fired from basically every coaching job he's ever had. He coached a college team, and 3/4 of the team actually transferred to other teams because they hated the coach. This coach is garbage. This coach has been making them do 2.5-hour practices after back-to-backs. He's making them do like drills that you wouldn't even make an elementary school basketball team do. It's ridiculous. Everybody hates him. Now, Jabari Parker is now, according to reports, out of the Bulls rotation, and they are looking at either trading him or just straight up waiving Jabari Parker. Now, Jabari Parker is making $20 million a year. That's a lot of money to be sitting on the bench doing nothing. And he is on a team option, so the Bulls can just keep him on the bench all year and just wipe their hands of him and move on if they want. Which it sounds like, worst case scenario, that's what happens. He sits on the bench and he's just on a new team next year. But it sounds like they're trying to get rid of him as soon as possible. So we will see what happens with Jabari Parker. Our next story of the day is coming from this beast right here, Greta Rogers. Let me give you guys a little breakdown on Greta Rogers. So if you didn't see this story, the Phoenix Suns owner, Robert Sarver, has said that he is going to think about moving the Phoenix Suns if the Phoenix Suns do not renovate, or if whoever's in charge does not renovate the Talking Stick Resort Arena. He will think about moving the Suns to Seattle or Las Vegas, I believe is what it was. In steps the greatest in the history of human history, Greta Rogers, who absolutely annihilates Robert Sarver in this Phoenix City Council meeting. Let's watch it.
Mr. Sarver has done nothing to improve this team in the 14 years he's owned it. He's never funded or paid for 2 or 3 key players, which make any sports team, professional sports team, successful or on the road to success. He's so tight, he squeaks when he walks. And you have been negotiating with this kind of person? Shame on each and all of you.
She goes hard.
And upon you, Ed, I thought your principles were higher and better than this. We are not in the business of paying taxes to support private enterprise, and especially not an entertainment enterprise. They can support themselves or fail on their own lack of diligence.
Damn, Greta Rogers goes hard in the paint. Greta Rogers absolutely thoroughly annihilating Robert Sarver. The Phoenix Suns are a mess, and that takes us to our last story of the day. Last night, there was a trade in place that would have sent Trevor Ariza to the Wizards. Okay, so here's the original trade. Ariza to the Wizards, Oubre to the Grizzlies, and Rivers and 2 Grizzlies players were going to go to the Suns. The Grizzlies players were going to be, what we thought at the time, Wade Selden and Dillon Brooks. But as you may or may not know, things went crazy out here, and there was an all-out miscommunication. There was a miscommunication out here. Miscommunication. There was a big one. The Suns, Grizzlies, and Wizards couldn't figure out which Brooks was going to the Suns. Was it Marshon Brooks, who was playing in China like a year ago, or was it Dillon Brooks, who was actually a beast? Nobody knew what was going on. Clarification, Marshon Brooks, not Dillon. And then Marshon or Dillon, Suns believed it was getting in the trade. Marshon or Dillon, the Suns believed it was getting in the trade. Memphis will not put Dillon Brooks in the trade. Deal is suddenly in peril. Memphis and Phoenix didn't communicate directly on trade, using Washington as a conduit. So Memphis and Phoenix never even talked to each other. They were just talking through Washington. And the Grizzlies thought they were trading for were getting rid of Marshon Brooks, but the Suns thought they were getting Dillon Brooks. So the Grizzlies thought they were giving up their trash. The Suns thought they were getting some treasure. And then the deal died. But as recording this video, right now, as we speak, Adrian Wojnarowski reports that the Phoenix Suns are trading Trevor Ariza to the Wizards. In return, the Suns are getting Austin Rivers and Kelly Oubre Jr. No picks, no third team. That is it. Now, my question, why was that so hard to do the first time? Why couldn't you just do that trade? Why did we have to get a Brooks involved? You know, maybe Scott Brooks could have got traded. Who knows? But the real question is here, why was this so difficult to do the first time? And by the way, what are the Wizards thinking? They're trading for Ariza, who's going to be like out of the league in 2 years. He's old. I mean, I love me some Trevor Ariza. And by the way, let me clarify. Trevor Ariza is in no means good enough to make the Rockets as bad as they are this year. And he is in no way good enough to, if he were to have gotten traded to the Lakers, which was the original rumor, he was not going to change the Lakers season around and make them all of a sudden a 70-win team. I mean, it's too late for that anyways because I think they've lost too many games. But Trevor Ariza is being way overvalued here by the Wizards for sure, because there's no way I would give up Austin Rivers and Kelly Oubre just for Trevor Ariza, who's on a one-year deal. He probably won't be there next year. This is a terrible trade. To me, this signifies the Wizards are about to rebuild, because I don't know, why are you going to give up two assets for one who's old and he's not going to be there in a couple of years? Because even if he was there in a couple of years, he's going to be old and he's going to decline. So what's the point? I don't get this trade. It's great for Phoenix. Kelly Oubre's a beast. I wanted my Kings to trade for him, but obviously they didn't. And Austin Rivers, he's Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. Some nights he looks like the best sixth man of the year, and then some nights he looks like Oscar the Grouch living in a trash can, how bad he is. But anyways, trade's done. They finally figured it out. The Grizzlies have been left out to dry because they couldn't figure out which Brooks they were trading. A bunch of idiots over there. Suns owner Robert Sarver, remember that guy that the old lady was yelling at? Reportedly did not want to send Trevor Ariza to the Lakers after criticism Phoenix received from Tyson Chandler winding up in LA. So what does that mean? That means that, remember that guy that used to follow around LeBron to every team he was going to, James Jones? He's now the GM of the Phoenix Suns, and essentially he basically received a phone call from LeBron with LeBron asking him, hey, yo, can you cut Tyson Chandler? Lakers need a big man. He did so. Lakers picked him up. Basically, I think there was some tampering going on here, or at least the Suns owner was scared of some tampering, because he's like, no, we're not trading him to the Lakers. We already went down that road once with Tyson Chandler. We're not revisiting that again, because he probably could have gotten some serious trouble. But anyways, that is the last story of the day. If you guys enjoyed this type of video where I just go through the news and talk about stuff and just give you my takes on what the latest crazy stuff in the NBA is going on, especially with trade season coming up, give the video a like. If you're new here, subscribe and share my videos, everything. I appreciate you guys support me, and I will talk to you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Mwah. I love you.